Good morning, everybody. Let's get all adjusted here. How's everybody doing today? I hope fantastic. Hi, Donna. It's going to be a really beautiful day in Calgary. The sun is out. We've had a lot of rain lately, and everything is very nice and green. So we're looking forward to some really nice weather. Hi, Nancy. Dropped my daughter off at camp, and I thought that we could do a little scrappy fun together. I'm just going to load my iPad, make sure I can see everything okay. Is the sound okay? And let's just make sure it's on the right Wi-Fi. Might go black first. Oh, we're good. What's everybody up to today? I put my puppy in the basement. She was not being quiet, and she's really not appreciating the quiet time in the basement. So hopefully you can't hear her barking. She has her blanket and she has her bone and she's all nice and cozy. Hi, Teresa. And can you guys see me okay? Of course, my iPad's not loading, so you know, being live. We're gonna play with some Elizabeth Craft Designs products today. Hi, Andrea. And if you haven't seen their papers, like they're just beautiful. Okay. All right. I think we can see okay here. All righty. So I'll just give you a look at what we're going to play with today. This is the right side of the page, and these are the Sidekick dies, and they go in this Sidekick planner. If you haven't seen this from Elizabeth Craft Designs, this is great for any kind of planning. You could add note pages to this. You can do it as a planner or a scrapbook. I have mine more like a scrapbook, and some pages are kind of even like art journal pages. And these are old ones that I did on the Creative Scrapbooker Facebook page. Some of these are probably online, but this one here is the Elizabeth Craft Designs. It's the one with the scissors, and this had a little flippy flap here. I did that one live. That one is a little winter one. So there's not really a specific, I'm just doing pictures that I have and that I like. These are pages that I can still add pictures to, and these are all Elizabeth Craft Designs dies. And these were, I think, some 49 a market. And so the dies that they have, there's two different sizes for their planners. They have a larger planner, and then this is the Sidekick that's smaller. And then the pages just kind of fit in, and you can make your own little custom notebook, little scrapbook pages, really cute. So this is the die set we're working with today. This is Sidekick Essentials 33, and this is base page 2. And I'm going to turn that off now. We've got, I love that these dies come with so many different dies in them. So there's lots of ways to mix and match these dies. It comes with, there's lots of these, the bases. So this one here has the little tab in the center. I have one with a tab on the top. There's lots of different positions of that. And then you get all these fun little accessories. So this is this fun little kind of torn piece that you can see we're using for layering in the background. And then we've got these tickets. You can stamp on them or use them like tickets. We've got a frame here and this tag that has a little tab that you can put at the top. These would even be fun just to go ahead and make tags with out of cut your papers and have tags on hand. And then we've got a star embellishment. We've got some little cuts that will make the holes in any piece of paper to turn it into a little tag. And lots of different arrows here. So this arrow here is the one that we're using. Actually, we're using two of them. One's down here that we're layering. And I think arrows can go with so many different things. Stars I love using as well. So we're going to use that. We've got this stamp set. So this one is the Flowers and Nature set, and it's from their Everyday Elements collection. Again, I love choosing things that have lots of different ways that I can use them. Hi, Monica, and welcome to everybody who's popping in. I'm not seeing everybody's name. We've got these little bees and butterflies that we can stamp. Then these images I did stamp on the background just as kind of a layering element, but I'm definitely going to use these to do as a focal image, like on a card. So you've got these beautiful daisies and then these flowers here. You've got some strawberries, and I really loved all of these sentiments. And then this background text, which I think is so nice for layering. And I just really love this set. And then we also have the abandoned papers. So here, I'll move these out of the way first. We've got Scrapbook Adhesives by 3L. So I've got the Easy Runner. We've got some adhesive sheets. So we're going to use these for our little tiny die cuts. And then we've got some Ranger inks, archival inks, and distress spritz. This is the fossilized amber, and you can see that it gives that really pretty gold shimmer. So we're going to do some splattering and painting our stars. Hi, Melita. Tons of elements in each set, which makes a great value. You are very correct. And you can mix and match these sets, the die sets, the stamp sets. I find that they really match well and that you can choose, ones from each to use. We've got the OLFA Craft scissors, which I like for any kind of fussy cutting. And these are Elizabeth Craft Designs tweezers. And I really love these. These are nice and pointy on the end. I find that I just grab them. Those are my go-to. And then here are the papers. So there's lots of different packs of paper. This one is the abandoned papers, and I'll give you a little peek through. I have, of course, cut into them. So on the back of the cover page, you've got this gorgeous print, and then I love how they've layered the text. They've got splatters on there. It's like you have this mixed media background that's already done. Nice weight, die cuts really well. This is this blue paper. I love how it looks textured. This is the background that I'm using for the planner pages. This almost looks like a bit of a leather background. So this one is the brown there, and then we've got this gorgeous one with like this peeled paint or wallpaper, and then the text over. It even looks like it has well, some splatters that could be like almost nail holes, just so cool. And then on the back, you've got this pretty print, almost like a floral or leafy pattern in the background. And then here's another one, maybe a bit of a floral in there. I would love to know how they get the designs for this, if it's something that someone's made and then they've taken a picture of. It's so pretty. Half the work is done, yes. And then you can go ahead and still add some more on top, but you have these beautiful layers that are completed for you. And I love the colors in this paper pack. It's very, like it's muted and soft and neutral, but you have lots of different choices for colors. And here's this one. And I love the text that's on it. This one, very cool. You've got this like newspaper page and the wood in the background where it's been torn. So I feel like you could almost just frame this. Isn't that cool? And look at that one. Absolutely amazing. So beautiful. And here's more of a wood grain with the green kind of teal paint in the background that's peeling. That's one of my favorites. And also, I love her papers for backgrounds when I'm photographing. So if I'm photographing a card or page, I love using these as my background. So I always kind of save some of those, and then I find that they post really nice if you're sharing on social media. Look at this one. So pretty. And then the different splatters. Here's a really nice wood grain. I find the wood grains photograph really nicely. Colors are definitely great for masculine Melita. You're right. Oh, that's pretty. With the logs. And this one has some numbers on it, which are always great, almost like a paper texture. There's a lot of paper in this pack. And this one has the water stain on it. So beautiful. Here we've got, like, I don't know, it almost looks like fabric there. And then here a bit of like a corrugated cardboard effect. This pink and blue is beautiful. And look at this. I love how they've added like these little areas that kind of peek out. You've got these little nail areas. And look at that. The peeling. I mean, seriously, this looks like you could just reach out and touch it. And this one, we've got two different areas. Stuff like this I find is just so great for even a pre-done background. You're layering on your pictures and your elements, and you've got this beautiful layout. All right, so we are going to start off just getting the things ready that we need. So I've already die cut this piece with the base page here, and that's set number 33. And you can see when it die cuts, you can easily use either side. So I've die cut them so that we could use it like this. I'm going to pretty much copy this page and have it on a facing page. But when I turn this over, I'll easily be able to use the back for other elements and photos that I want to add on this. So we've got our page. We've got this tag. So this is this one here. And then I've cut out the little reinforcer. I love that, and added that on. And I did pre-cut a couple things, but I thought what we might do is actually, I wanted to try the adhesive sheets from Scrapbook Adhesives by 3Elf, because sometimes we have those small little elements, and if we add a sticker back to them, then they're pretty much pre-done. So we just stick them on. So this is the adhesive sheets. They come in different sizes. There's large and yeah, various sizes. So you can just choose what you want. And then it has the instructions right here. Lift the yellow release paper, place your paper on the adhesive. Then we're going to punch it or die cut it out. And then we've got our sticker on the back. So I'm going to grab the paper that I want. I thought we could use, let's see here. We'll do the blue. Actually, I have a piece right here. And also I want to cut out some of the craft cardstock. And then I want to do a little arrow with one of these little this green piece. So I'm going to cut this off, the arrow. I'm just going to measure the size of it so I can cut it off. Actually, this one we could probably just use the tape runner. I might do that, depending on what's going on with my adhesive sheet. Okay, so let's first apply this. We're going to do the frame with this. So we're going to cut this like here. I mean, you could, if you had a larger piece of paper, you could just back the whole thing, and then you have a whole sticker sheet that you can definitely use at any point. So this I'm going to just stick on here and press it down. When we do run it through the die cut machine, it's going to adhere even more. So this now is a background that has sticker, so sticker paper. And that's just going to run through like that. So we can do that. Have you guys tried the adhesive sheets before? I'm gonna have to put it on the floor. I always feel like it moves the camera so much if it's on my desk and I'm running it through. Okay, and then you do get the inner oval circle. So we'll set that aside, but we could definitely use that later for another project. And here's our frame. And when we want to take off the sticker paper, we're just going to pull that off. So that's ready. Then we want a little piece of, let's see here, orange. Set that aside. I'm already like lost stuff. I've already lost things. Okay, I'm moving this out of the way. I feel like if I don't have like a humongous area to craft in, it's like I've lost it already. Or I'm so spread out by the end of my project, even though I have everything here that I want. Okay, so this one, we've got this little piece, and this is what we're going to do with this one. So we don't get our sticker stuff on our scissors. We are going to do this little trick. So we've got both of our pieces here, and then we can just come in and cut them right through the layers, and that way we can easily cut this sticker background. But we're not getting any extra adhesive on our pieces. So now we have two more pieces that have the sticker on them. That's a good way to cut them if you just have little pieces of paper rather than putting it over the whole background. And this one is going to be our, we'll do our arrow, that's what that's called. Okay, and then we're going to do this little tiny, because this is really tiny. So we're going to run those through. When I found my extra piece of orange paper. All right. So we've got our arrow sticker. And I'm just going to put these back on here. I find things like this too are easy to do or great to do if you're not quite sure what you want to work on, but you know that you want to do something. So just pick up your papers, especially scrap papers would be so great to use with this. Just die cut everything out, and then you've got everything there, and you can start layering together after you get them cut out. Okay, and then we'll go ahead and add a full piece onto this craft cardstock, because whatever is left over, we can always save. And these are great as well to use with ephemera that you might have in your stash and you just want to add stickers to it. Just pull off that edge. There we go. I'm going to overlap that, but it'll be fine once we die cut it. And then we don't really need the piece on the corner. I might have an extra piece. Let's grab these tweezers. Or this may not get pulled off. That's going to stay. Okay. So then we can position our die cut. So we've got this piece here that I want to do. I'm going to position it like this so that I get the full adhesive. And then the other pieces, you don't really need this as a sticker, but we'll do it. And I think that might be it for the brown. Okay, and we'll just run that through and then we can start putting our page together. There we go. Is anybody working on any crafting today? Any crafty projects? Have you got some summer photos that you're looking forward to scrapbooking? Pull that out. And this one. And then we still have all of this that we can use for die cutting at a later date. I am going to take this little Spellbinders tool and I'm just going to take out those little extra pieces. I think this is meant to look like it's distressed, so if you missed a piece, it's not going to really matter. But this kind of easily gets that out of there. All right, we're ready. So I also have some scorched timber distress oxide. So I felt like it matched nicely with the colors. And what I want to do is add a little bit of ink around the edges of things. This has a little piece that can just pop out of here. I love also that this has like a little tab. Let me show you the one that I cut that doesn't have the sticker paper on. And then you could kind of just attach it onto things. I think there's just so many great layering options. And I'm using the Ranger tools. And you're excited for the VIP class tonight. Teal cards. I know they look gorgeous. So Melita is one of our VIP members, and we have a VIP Facebook group, which is amazing. We have exclusive classes that run in there. There's so much content, just an amazing community of people. So if you don't know anything about that, you can check that out online on the Creative Scrapbooker website, and it tells you all about joining that group. And it is so well worth it. And it's just, I think, just for the positive experience. And I know Melita is such a great um, poster, and she shares what she's working on, and we want to see what people are working on and what they're doing and ideas. And so we have a special class tonight, and we are making teal cards and they're beautiful. Sometimes there's kits that you can buy with the classes, and other times you could just use your own, or you can use your own supplies. You don't have to buy a kit, but you can follow along. Some people do pick up the kits when they're available. So lots of fun going on there. All right, so I just added a little bit of that color. It's not a lot, but I find that you can just get a nice feel once it's all together. Let's see. Oh, I'm also going to do the outside. I love still inking. I feel like I've always been inking, and then sometimes I think, I don't know, is inking not in anymore? But I like it, so I'm going to do it because I don't think you always have to do the things that are in. Sometimes I do like trying the new things. So, you know, if a technique comes out that is, well, I don't know if there's any new techniques, is there? But I'll usually try it and see, but sometimes I wait and kind of see what people are posting, like slimline cards. I find that it took me forever to get going on those. I do like them, but I find that I sometimes just grab regular card bases. Okay, I'm just cutting this off because I want to cut that in half. So we have these that we're layering. Also, what I didn't do on this side, and I thought I would try it because it was kind of after the fact, I thought I would add a little bit of this text stamp from the Flowers in Nature set and just add it to a couple areas. So I'm just using that Distress Oxide. It doesn't matter if it stamps perfectly because like this has a distressed look. Oh, that's pretty, even though that's most of it's going to be covered. I'm just kind of, I'm winging it just to add a little bit of text, but I do love that. Look how pretty that is. Oh, that's nice. Isn't that pretty? And you could add this wherever you want. Maybe we'll add a little bit more. And I just want to very lightly stamp. Okay, so you can kind of see it's very lightly adding a little bit of that text, but isn't that pretty? It's very subtle. Okay, so I like that. I'm glad that I did that. I'm going to wipe this off, clean up my space so I don't have brown ink. Even though I kind of like doing stuff that's has a distressed look to it, because I feel like if I stamp wrong or if I get a fingerprint on something, you really can't tell. Whereas if everything is completely very white and clean, you know you're going to see that. Okay, and then I'm going to add a little butterfly. Actually, we'll do that stamping at the end. Just trying to think I do want to stamp this flower just to show you that you can stamp in the background. So maybe we did this flower here. You can see that. And then let's try this flower. These are so gorgeous, and I feel like these watercolored would be amazing. Definitely have to do that. And this is just going to be peeking out from the background. So it doesn't have to be perfect, but I do like adding these elements. I'm going to use my stamp wheel just because I want to stamp it a couple times. And I'm going to use the Illusions Archival ink from Ranger, and this is the Black Marble. And this is a brand new stamp, so I'll probably have to stamp it a few times. But this is permanent, and the ink is permanent. And because we're going to add a few splatters over top, we don't have to worry about anything running. If we wanted to watercolor this, we could go ahead and watercolor over it. See, it's pretty light just because this is the first time it's stamped up. And I find that it does give a pretty crisp image. So if I was, it would look nice to color over this paper. If this was going to be more of a focal image, I think coloring even with colored pencils or the Distress watercolor pencil would look really nice on this darker paper. Okay, let's see. That will be good. I love that. Isn't that flower? That's beautiful. All right, let's give this a spray. And I'm just going to quickly wipe it off. But if you like your stamps to be a little bit cleaner, I mean, they're not going to be new because you're using them, then you can add a little bit of this archival cleaner. So this little top thing actually came off of mine, but what I do is just dab it onto my cloth, add a little water. This is a great cleaner as well for, you can see it kind of soaping up there, and I didn't add very much. For using to clean your stamp wheel or any of your products, it cleans really nicely, and then I just give it a wipe. And then I know nothing's going to transfer. I can, like, it did clean it off quite well. And I don't need my stamps to look, perfect. I just, if I came in with a different color, I don't want it to transfer. That's kind of my only thing. But it does clean it quite nicely. Okay, so we've got that. We're going to add a little bit of splatters. And then let's do the splatters first, and then we can stamp a sentiment onto that ticket. I feel like I should add a little bit of that text to this one now. So I might come back later and do that. But for the Distress Spritz, you can spray it, but a lot of times I like just splattering. So if you're spraying, you definitely want to make sure all that mica is mixed up. I usually just mix it side to side. If you're splattering or you're painting, it's not that big of a deal because you're still going to get lots of mica. So I'm just splattering this on the background, and this is going to give me some really nice gold shimmer. And then set this aside for a minute. We're going to add a little bit of paint. I've die cut. Oh, I should have die cut the stars. That's what I should have done. But anyway, it's fine. We are going to paint our stars. And I always put the cover back on because you're probably going to knock it over if the cover's not on. And then, especially on this craft cardstock, it's, I'll hold it up after, but it looks so nice with these distress spritzes. So you could use any color. They look really nice on black cardstock as well. And I find if I'm using them on white, I like to have a color underneath. I think that is, oh, the only other spot is that I put a little bit of gold right on this top of the star. So here I'll hold it up in the light. And isn't that pretty? Like it really does add a pretty shimmer. See it there. And then I just, usually I have a container of water, but I don't. So I'm just wiping it off. This is water-based, and so if you didn't get to it right away, you could still put it in some water and it would clean up nicely. Okay, so we're gonna push this over here for a minute. And we might have to put those on after just because I put quite a bit of the spritz on, so it's gonna need a little bit of time to dry. But our page, we're going to use the heated craft tool. It's in the basement. And I'm going to just, it's pretty much dry already. And if you can see those splatters in the light, they are so pretty. I just find that it adds such a pretty element. And if this flower was going to be more of a image that showed, I think I would emboss it with white embossing powder. And I think that too would show up so nicely on the background. Okay, so I think we can start layering things. So we've got our, oh, and I was going to stamp. That's what I was going to do. Stamp this. So I have Natural Beauty on this one. And then I thought I could put any kind of words or words that are going to kind of fit on here, or you could just even put one word. It doesn't really matter. Could put explore nature. We could put journal notes. Fresh air. I'm just trying to think. I'm thinking in my head. I might want to use I have some more pictures for this. This was a walk in Nose Hill Park in Calgary. So I might use the back side of this and put more pictures on it and do journal notes there. And that way I can do my journaling because I don't really have any journaling on this part. So I think that's maybe what I'll do for that. I'm just going to put fresh air. And I'm going to put it so that it's kind of in between the tickets, in between the words, but I think really you could put it wherever you want. They're not going to come apart. And then I'm going to stamp this with the ground espresso archival ink. I really need to re-ink this. I've had it for a long time. And it needs a bit of a re-ink. All right. Again, with these, I'm just going to wipe this off, but I'll probably come back later and put a little bit of that archival ink cleaner on if I want it to be a little bit cleaner. We'll pull that off. Oh, and it pulled off the sticker, which is fine because we're going to go ahead and apply that. So the mat of this stamp wheel is sticky. This is from Altenew. It's great for stenciling, great for stamping because it holds everything nice and still on there. And they do sell the mats separately. So if you don't want the whole stamp wheel or you just want an extra mat to use, that works great. Okay, so I'm just going to figure out for this side, because this is this one, it is going to pretty much be the same. I mean, if I was doing two, I don't know that I'd always do them the same if I was doing side by side, but I think it's an easy way to do 2 pages. You've already got a design that you like. Why not use it again, right? It's not, there's no rule that we have to only use one design once. Same as scrapbooking. Like, I love using sketches. I'm using that Easy Runner. It's the permanent white strips, and it sticks really nicely. And I'm just going to place that on there. So I really like how different this looks with the text. Okay, so that's going to go on. I'm just putting these on here to make sure that this is where I want. I could put this up here and put this down here just to change it up a little bit. Why don't we do that? So this is our fresh air. It's already got our sticker background on there. And I think I'm going to put this upside down. So I could have stamped the words either way. And I want to give that a nice press. Then I think I would even maybe stick this through my die cut machine after just to make it sure everything is really nicely adhered. Then we can use those tweezers to pull off that backing. So this, I'm going to put here. I'm really just eyeballing it. I think that there's no wrong way to do this. We're just adding our layers. Okay, then this is going to layer over top. Now, before I stick that on, I need a drink of water. I do want to figure out where I'm going to put this. So let's add our photo. Have you guys had a chance to look at the summer issue of the magazine? I'm going to cut a little bit off the top and the bottom of this photo, just so it fits better in this frame. There's so many nice projects in there. And then if you hadn't noticed, we have QR codes. I don't know if it matters which way. We'll put it this way. We have QR codes for projects that you can actually watch. And I have a tickle in my throat, so I'm just going to grab a lozenge. And a drink. Sorry guys, a sec. Okay. You know when you're not sure if that tickle is gonna go away. So we've got our frame that stuck right to our photo, which was great. And that's gonna kind of go here. I am gonna cut off the bottom, and that is gonna kind of go like that. And then let's see, oh, there's one more little piece that's stuck in there. Okay, let's adhere this. Put that on here. And this has a little bit of time that you can move it around, like until once you give it a really nice press, it's stuck down. But you do have a little bit of time if you want to move things around, which is nice. So I'm going to put glue this down. I do want to add a stamped word somewhere on here. Okay, and then we've got our cute little arrow. Even save that part of the arrow for something. Yeah, it did come together nice and quick. It has adhesive on it. Especially if you have all your pieces cut out. So if you had adhered the adhesive to any of the small pieces and then you just kind of sit and play with the arrangement, it goes together really quickly. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to run it through the die cut machine just to make sure everything is pressed down nice and strong. This one on here. You could put a little piece of twine through there. That would look nice as well. I didn't for this one because I felt like it would stick up over, but this one could definitely have it because I think sticking up out of your journal is a nice way to add some fun elements. And then this here, we could add this to the bottom again, kind of like here, or we could add it in the center just to change things up. So what I am going to do is just cut this and make it look like it's gone all the way underneath. These are fun too, I find, if I'm traveling or, I'm going to the splash park with my kids. I can just take all these elements and then just kind of sit there, put it together. I don't need a whole lot of supplies because my background is kind of done. But it's nice to just be able to layer those things. Isn't that pretty? And we'll just get that backing off and kind of tuck that underneath. It is hard to believe it is almost August, really. All right. But I am kind of getting excited about September or fall. Oh, thanks, Melita. Yeah, I love how it layers over the flowers and you can just kind of see them peeking out. And then the only other thing that needs to go on, oh, we just are going to add a few little stamp details. See if this butterfly might be a tad bit big just for that spot. So we'll use the small one again. And grab a stamp block. And then I've got this London Blue archival ink, which is really pretty. That's a Dilutions one. So we'll stamp that on there. We will, I have got to wipe my stamps off. There's no way I could just, I don't have to like fully clean them, but I find I really need to just wipe them. Okay, and then we'll do a word. Maybe, oh, explore. So because I want my word to be stamped, you know what, it probably would be totally fine even if it wasn't stamped completely right. But I'm just being a little bit fussy about it. I'm just going to put this on it because it's easy. And we'll stamp this in black, and that way, especially just because it's a newer stamp. And it stamped fine, so. And then we'll stamp a couple of the bees. I love that they have the bees in this set as well. And I like the bringing in that orange paper because it kind of goes with the flowers. Thanks, Melita. I hope that you guys can get some crafting done today. I've got this, I think I just used the small one. I'm just going to use the small one again. The little bee. These little stamps that are in the sets are always so great to use as like little fillers. Okay, so that little bee. I really like that bee. And then the only thing that we hadn't finished adding was the stars, but I think I'm just going to let them make sure they're fully dry. Although I didn't put the adhesive sheet on there, so we could use the little adhesive dots. I'm going to check and see if they feel dry enough. Actually, they feel good. So look how shiny those are. They turned out so pretty and shiny. The paper for the pages is Elizabeth Craft Designs Abandoned Papers. So this is the Abandoned Paper Pack. They have so many gorgeous paper packs. Then we use the Flowers and Nature stamp set and the Sidekick Essentials number 33 die set. Let me grab my adhesive dots. I've got these little small ones here, which would be perfect for these little stars. These are also great for any sequins, although I find with these pages, I keep them fairly flat in there, and then you can just pull them off and place them where you want. And I'm going to layer this just so it's kind of a little bit off. Yeah, I keep them kind of flat just because I will probably want to put something on the other side. So I just find that it's easier. And then let's see, let's put this one, oops, let's put this one up here. And all these kind of last or little details like the stamping and the stars and all those kind of things, they just add. I love when you look at a page or a project and it's like, oh, yeah, I see that I didn't see at first, and see this like the stamping in the background or this little die cut element. And I love figuring out what people have used. And we'll do this. But definitely love the stamping on the cardstock with that text stamp. So here's a look at the completed pages. They're really pretty. I'll be able to put them in my Sidekick planner. And yeah, I'll probably add some more and maybe put a little title here and put a few more pictures and some journaling. And this will be like my little Nose Hill Walk adventure. It was the first time that I had actually ever been to Nose Hill Park in Calgary, and I've lived here for quite a long time. So I'll definitely go back. It was very pretty. So thank you guys for stopping in. I hope you have a really great day. Have an amazing rest of your week. And if you want to check out the VIP Facebook group, then go to Creative Scrapbooker website and you can find all the details there. And the summer issue is out. Check that out. Coming up August the 1st, we have our new Sketchy Challenge coming out. So that's the Sketchy Challenge Facebook group. There's always a sketch. There's tons of sketches in there if you love using sketches. And we have a whole bunch of different Facebook groups. And then, of course, there'll be a new card of the month that we will be revealing a new contest. So stay tuned for that. You'll be able to vote for your favorites in the Card of the Month Facebook group. Thanks, Melita. Thanks so much for hanging out, and I'll see you later. And we'll see you guys soon. Bye.